Hi everyone, thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Mervell. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Remember to turn on the bell icon so when I drop a video you get them. Without further ado, let's jump right into today's video. I wanted to come real quick talk to you about the reason why I make the videos that I make on this specific channel. You guys have no idea how much it brings joy into my heart when the people that are on my platform are emailing me, sending me text messages, and telling me that they're making the moves or they have been inspired. They want to go and start a business in Congo. This really makes me feel more joyful than ever because I personally believe that Congo needs more entrepreneurs, especially coming from the diaspora. A lot among us have been outside of the country for so many years. They actually have been doing well, but they're just not so sure whether it is a good move to go back invest in the country. That's why I come every time in these videos to convince you guys and actually inspire you by showing you what I am personally doing, and I believe it will benefit me and it will change my life status in the long run. And I just don't want you to be left behind. I want us to get on board and move forward together to build and create a generation of young entrepreneurs from the Congo to inspire the next generation. I think this is a really great move as long as you have faith in it. If you find the video that I am producing so helpful, consider subscribing to the channel. Make sure to turn on the bell icon so when every time a video it is uploaded, you get notified. And if you also think that there is a friend out there who might be interested in this type of information, please do not hesitate. Reach out to them, let them know, share the link so that we can spread the message. Back to the video. Remind you guys, we all know the challenges that our country face and our government commitments when it comes down to the youth. Oftentimes over the past years, we've seen governments after governments coming and not really doing anything for the youth at all. But I think we have to take our own personal matter in our own hands rather than relying on the government or waiting for one regime to come and like magically change everything for us. That's just not how it works. Sometimes if you are waiting for somebody to actually determine what your future will look like, I bet you will probably be waiting your entire life. And I don't want that to be the case for particularly my generation. I want my generation to win. I want my generation to actually be able to tell stories that will inspire more people and actually encourage a lot more people out there to become entrepreneurs. I've seen a lot of young Africans from different African countries doing great things, you know, to name Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Tanzania, and to name a few. I really admire those guys. They're really staying on the top of their games and doing their things. Why can't Congolese do that? I mean, we're all from the same continent, the greatest continent of Africa. What that African don't have? What don't we have in Africa that's pushing us to go abroad to look for opportunities? The opportunities that we are looking for in life, we have way more than enough of it in the continent of Africa. You know, I was young, I was on the same boat just as this other young generation that's coming after us, right? But then it took me years of living in America to actually come to a realization that it's not always the case. I mean, there are people here in America that are struggling. There are people in America that live paycheck to paycheck. They're waiting for the next paycheck to be able to pay their bills. When I realized that, and I was like, you know what? I have to do something so that tomorrow I don't blame this on anybody. A lot of times you will see, I'm about to make this point here. This might come out a little harsh, but this is the reality, right? In many places that I work for, I've had a chance to speak with, Native Americans, right? People that are from here, whether they're whites, African Americans, and, Hispanics, whatever. When I have this type of conversations with them, they tell me, dude, the American dream that everybody brag about America, I don't know what it looks like to me. To me, it does not exist at all, right? They're born here, grew up here, they take everything about America for granted. But people that's from the outside, they see those opportunities. For them, it's like, as soon as I get to America, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It's basically the same case as us who are moving from Africa, because you live in a country you were born in and grew up there. You don't see the potentials that that country has until you get out of that country. You live a whole different reality in a different country to actually realize how much of a potential you left behind. You don't want to make that same mistake again. So in my case personally, I'm like, okay, the mistake has been made. And if I may also say, has been consumed. So now it is the time to fix some of those mistakes so that it won't happen again. So what do I go from here? I'm working in America. And this is actually my very first time working for anybody in my life is when I moved in America. I've never worked for anybody in the Congo. I was a full-time student going to college every day. As soon as I graduated high school, my parents put me through university and I was just going full-time and coming home, have dinner, hang out with my friends and do this and do that until it was time for me to move to America. And boom, I'm here. I entered the workforce at the age of nearly 20 because I was still 19 at the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing it and I'm like, man, this is so difficult. I was much better off with my parents where I didn't have to do anything. Well, I still had that childhood mindset that I needed everything handed to me in a silver spoon. But I didn't realize that, okay, my parents also have to work their butt off to actually put food on my table. It was actually my turn to do exactly the same thing. So, where do we go from here? I was like, you know what? It is what it is. I got a job, started working. It was really difficult in the beginning, but I had it, held it together. And over time, it actually became easy. I started loving it more, but I knew for a fact I didn't want to stay and work for that company. I was like, you know what? I need to learn how to speak English. I really have to go back to college and get my degree and so forth so I can find a better job. So I was able to, when I started to feel like my, communication skills starting to actually improve more and more, I applied for a different job. So I started working for warehouses. So I, moved from working for a slaughterhouse to a warehouse where I started driving a forklift. I'm like, all right, I'm making progress, but still not enough. I wanted more. So I kept working and, acquiring knowledge and went back to college and, did what I had to do. And then here comes the time where like, okay, another opportunity has presented itself in front of me. I took it. I started working for, this security company. I'm like, all right, my qualifications are just, getting up there. But I started making a little more money and I kept finding myself wanting to get another certificate or whatever I needed to do to find a much better job to make a little more money. And what I didn't realize is just like the more money you make, the more problem you have. You will want to live in a much bigger home. You want to upgrade your car because you feel like, okay, I'm making a lot more than I was making back then. Why can't I treat myself with something nicer? This is the type of mindset that I had. I don't know if you guys relate to this, but let me know in the comment section down below if you've ever felt that way too, because I think it's probably not, maybe it's just a me thing, but I think this also could be a case with other people out there. But anyway, I'm just speaking, from my own personal experience. And I find myself in the very same situation again, where I had to keep getting up every morning, going to work and waiting for that paycheck either every 2 weeks or whatever. Sometimes I have to work 2 jobs regardless. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you know what? Waking up every morning to go put in the work for somebody else and to wait for their paycheck, it's never going to get you where you want to be in life. So that's where my ambitions kept growing bigger. I'm like, okay, I want something for myself. As a matter of fact, I got my land, purchased My mom was there, took care of everything. I'm like, all right, I don't know what I want to do with my land yet, but I want to invest in my land. I want to do something with it. Now I'm getting into farming and doing the things that I'm doing because I want to change the narrative. Don't want to be that guy who keeps waking up early in the morning, going to work for other people and still not get the type of appreciation that I deserve. And I'm like, you know what, maybe if I wake up every morning to go put in the work for something that belongs to me, I will actually be way more motivated, number one, because I wanted to succeed. And number two, I actually want to make a living out of it. And it also happens to be something that I enjoy. I love farming. I think I just took this from my dad because my dad, among other business that he owned, farming was one of them. He owned massive lands and he was able to exploit not 100% of it, but probably a quarter of it. But the quarter that he had used out of 153 something acres that he owned, it actually brought him a lot of money. So I'm thinking, if I own like close to 16 acres and I'm able to exploit it to its full potential, can you imagine how much money I'll be able to make? So that's why I make this type of videos, because it's inspirational. And even by me just talking about it, it is inspiring myself to even do more than I have been doing. So guys, I come here every day to actually bring to you this type of talk and conversation to encourage you. I know some of you may have money already, may already be considering to go back to invest in a country. It's not late. It's not too late. Take as much time as you have to. Nobody's pressuring you. But once you come to that conclusion and you make that decision that you really want to go and start investing, do not hesitate, because my goal in this channel is to encourage as many Congolese as I possibly can, because I want the Congolese youth to also represent the country in terms of entrepreneurship. It doesn't have to be farming, because I preach about farming in my channel a lot because that's what I love to do. That's something that I want to invest more in. But probably, later on we'll get into the real estates, and there's some other real estate conversations that I'll be bringing to, but I like to talk about things when I'm actually doing something to show you and motivate you with it. You know what I'm saying? So real estate is one of them, but farming is something that I put first. That's why I talk about it. It could be anything. If you're planning on investing in some other area, its broad is huge. Go for it. Do it. I can't really stop anybody from investing in the Congo as long as you're a Congolese and you're bringing job to the community and actually helping out the local people. That's beautiful. Hats off. I always have respect for those kind of people. And that's why I keep coming back here to inspire you guys to have this type of conversation, because I know it's really beneficial. I watch the news, like the local medias in the Congo. I rarely see people talk about the youth like that. And I feel like the youth in the Congo, we've been left behind. We've been forgotten by the government and you name it, right? But I feel like it is our own responsibility to actually take a stand and do something for our future and for the youth of the next coming generation. All right, guys, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch my video. I really do appreciate it. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon so when every time I release videos like this, you get notified. And if this is your first time to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button again. And yes, we are almost about to reach the 1,000 subscribers. We only need 10 more subscribers to reach that goal. Share the video, get the word out. Until the next video, I'll see you later. Peace.